The Extraordinary Story of Ruth, a fascinating Bible tale. Today I want to share with you an incredible story from the Bible that speaks about faith, loyalty, and courage. We are talking about the extraordinary story of Ruth. Ruth was not just an ordinary woman. Her life is a true inspiration for all of us. She came from a distant land called Moab and faced many challenges alongside her mother-in-law, Naomi. Together, they showed that with love, dedication, and faith in God, it is possible to overcome any obstacle. In this video, we will explore every fascinating detail of this biblical story. We will understand how Ruth's loyalty to Naomi, her unwavering trust in God, and her ability to integrate and be accepted in a new community made her an extraordinary example for all of us. Get ready to be inspired by Ruth's incredible journey, a woman who, against all odds, found her place in sacred history and became an ancestor of King David himself. So, stay with us and let's dive together into the extraordinary story of Ruth. The story of Ruth. Ruth was a young woman living in Moab, a place far away and different from Bethlehem, the city of her future mother-in-law, Naomi. Ruth's life changed completely when she met Naomi, a kind and wise woman who had moved to Moab with her husband and 2 sons because of a famine in their homeland. Unfortunately, Naomi's life was marked by tragedies. First, her husband passed away, leaving her a widow. Her sons then married Moabite women, Ruth and Orpah, and they lived together in Moab for about 10 years. But sorrow struck again when Naomi's 2 sons also died, leaving her alone with her daughters-in-law. Hearing that the famine in Bethlehem had ended, Naomi decided to return to her homeland. She encouraged her daughters-in-law to stay in Moab and rebuild their lives, but Ruth, showing incredible loyalty and love, refused to leave her. "Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people and your God will be my God," Ruth said, determined to accompany Naomi back to Bethlehem. Upon arriving in Bethlehem, Naomi expressed her bitterness over the difficult life she had led, but Ruth quickly set to work, gleaning ears of grain in the fields so they would have something to eat. Fortunately, Ruth ended up gleaning in the fields of Boaz, a relative of Naomi's late husband. Boaz noticed Ruth's dedication and hard work, and impressed by her loyalty to Naomi, ensured her safety and offered his help. Boaz treated Ruth with great kindness, allowing her to glean among the sheaves of barley and ensuring that the workers protected her. Ruth was very grateful and continued to work diligently. When she told Naomi about Boaz, Naomi saw an opportunity to secure a future for Ruth. Following Naomi's advice, Ruth went to Boaz at night at the threshing floor, where he was working. She waited until he had finished eating and drinking, then lay down at his feet, a tradition symbolizing a request for protection and marriage. Boaz was surprised but touched by Ruth's gesture and promised to resolve the situation. The next morning, Boaz went to the town and spoke with a closer relative, who had the first right to redeem Naomi's land and marry Ruth. When the relative renounced his right, Boaz declared before witnesses that he would buy the land and marry Ruth. Boaz and Ruth married, and the Lord blessed them with a son named Obed. Obed grew up to become the grandfather of King David, thus linking Ruth and Boaz directly to the lineage of Jesus Christ. The story of Ruth is a powerful testimony of faith, loyalty, and the blessings that come from trusting in God. Ruth and Boaz built a happy and prosperous life together in Bethlehem. Boaz's kindness and Ruth's devotion to Naomi and her new family were rewarded not only with material security, but also with a lasting legacy that would influence future generations. Ruth integrated into the community of Bethlehem, earning respect and admiration for her character and actions. Her story was told and retold, not just for her fidelity to Naomi, but also for how she embraced the people and the God of Israel. Ruth, the Moabite, became an example of how faith and devotion can transcend cultural and ethnic barriers. Naomi, who had returned to Bethlehem bitter and feeling empty, found new purpose and joy in caring for her grandson Obed. The women of the city, seeing the transformation in Naomi's life, praised the Lord for his mercy and kindness. They told Naomi that Ruth was better to her than 7 sons, a tribute to Ruth's love and dedication. Over time, Obed grew up, married, and had children. One of his sons was Jesse, who in turn had many sons, including the future King David. David became one of Israel's greatest kings, and his lineage was prophesied to be the line through which the Messiah would come. The story of Ruth not only highlights the importance of loyalty and kindness but also shows how God works through people's lives to fulfill His greater purposes. Ruth, a foreigner, was embraced by God's people and became an integral part of the divine plan for salvation. Ruth's example inspires many to show love, faith, and loyalty in their own lives. Her story is told as a reminder that, regardless of circumstances, trusting in God and acting with kindness can transform lives and leave a lasting impact. Through Ruth, we see that true nobility of character and unwavering faith can bring unimaginable blessings, both in this life and for future generations. The lessons Ruth can teach us: loyalty and love for others. Ruth came from Moab, a distant land, and became known for her incredible loyalty. She met Naomi, a woman who had lost her husband and sons, and decided to stay by her side, even when she had the chance to return to her own family in Moab. Ruth's loyalty means standing by someone you love, even when things are tough. For Ruth, this meant leaving her own land and following Naomi to Bethlehem. This choice showed how much she valued her relationship with Naomi and wanted to take care of her in a difficult time. Loyalty also involves commitment. Ruth didn't just promise to stay with Naomi, she acted on her words. She worked hard in the fields to support Naomi and integrated into the local community, respecting their traditions and values. Understanding loyalty and love for others is important because these qualities can strengthen relationships and communities. When we are loyal, we show that we can be trusted and that we genuinely care about the people around us. This creates strong and sustainable bonds, where people feel safe and supported. Additionally, love for others goes beyond simply liking someone. It involves acting for the benefit of others, even when it requires sacrifice or effort from us. Ruth chose to sacrifice her own safety and comfort to take care of Naomi, and this choice was rewarded with love and acceptance in Bethlehem. So, learning about loyalty and love for others teaches us to be better people. It helps us build deeper and more meaningful relationships where we can rely on each other in good times and bad. It also allows us to contribute to stronger communities where everyone feels valued and respected. Trust and faith in God. Have you ever had to make a difficult decision in life? Sometimes we face situations where we don't know what to do or where to go. This can be scary, but that's where trust and faith in God come in. Trust in God means believing that He is taking care of us, even when things seem difficult. It's like when Ruth, a woman from Moab, decided to follow her mother-in-law Naomi back to Bethlehem, even without knowing what the future held. She trusted that God would guide and protect her. Faith in God goes a step further. It means believing that He has a plan for us, even when we don't fully understand it. Ruth trusted in God when she started gleaning in the fields of Bethlehem to support herself and Naomi. She worked hard and trusted that God would provide enough for them. The importance of having trust and faith in God is that it gives us hope and inner peace. When we trust in God, we can face life's challenges with courage and determination. We don't need to have all the answers because we know that God is by our side, guiding our steps. Moreover, faith in God connects us with something greater than ourselves. It reminds us that we are not alone in this world and that there is a higher purpose for our lives. Just as Ruth found security and acceptance in Bethlehem, our faith helps us find a place where we belong, a community where we are loved and valued. Therefore, learning about trust and faith in God teaches us to seek something beyond ourselves. It inspires us to trust in God in all aspects of our lives and to live with hope and purpose. It's a journey of spiritual growth that transforms us and brings us closer to God. Example of integration and acceptance. Have you ever felt out of place at some point in your life? Sometimes, when we are in a new environment or situation, it can be difficult to fit in. But the story of Ruth teaches us a lot about how we can integrate and be accepted into a community. Ruth was a woman from Moab, a foreign land to the inhabitants of Bethlehem, where she moved with her mother-in-law Naomi. Even though she was a foreigner, Ruth showed respect for the local traditions and values. She started working in the fields to support herself and Naomi, and her dedication and hard work were recognized by the people of Bethlehem. Integration means adapting to a new environment and respecting its norms and values. Ruth not only adapted to life in Bethlehem but was also accepted by the community because of her kindness and respect. She didn't try to impose her own culture but learned and integrated into the local culture, thus earning the respect and trust of the people around her. Acceptance is about being welcomed and valued by others. The people of Bethlehem accepted Ruth not just as a foreigner but as someone who contributed positively to the community. They saw her dedication to Naomi and her willingness to work hard, and this created bonds of respect and friendship. The importance of learning about integration and acceptance lies in how these qualities can strengthen human relationships. When we strive to understand and respect the cultures and traditions of others, we create an environment where everyone feels valued and respected. This builds bridges of understanding and cooperation, which are essential for a harmonious society. Additionally, Ruth's story teaches us that integration and acceptance can open doors to new opportunities and meaningful connections. When we make an effort to integrate into a new environment and are accepted by the community, we can find a home where we can grow and contribute positively. And so we conclude the extraordinary story of Ruth, a woman whose faith, loyalty, and courage continue to inspire us today. I hope you enjoyed learning about this fascinating Bible story as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. If you found inspiration in Ruth's journey, remember to subscribe to our channel. By doing so, you won't miss any of our upcoming videos featuring other incredible Bible stories and much more. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on this story. Please leave your comments below and share your reflections. How did Ruth's story resonate with you? What aspect did you find most compelling? Thank you for watching, and until next time.